So our case study is about reverse osmosis purification on a Niger Delta region, which is in Nigeria. So first, going to our okay. Next is about the abstract of our case study. Okay, about this case study, we have taken an area called Nigeria. In that, Niger Delta region is particularly taken because the drinking water supply in that area is completely affected because of the petroleum industry present in that area. So the first our abstract is about so the Niger Delta region of Nigeria is faced with a more drinking water supply problem. So different methods of water purification has been adopted and has been practiced there, but everything ends in failure. So because of the brackish water which is present around that Niger Delta region, this region is completely contaminated with the heavy metals like nickel, cobalt, etc. So that many experiments have been carried out. Finally, only the reverse osmosis helps to remove such impurities and the contamination present in the brackish water, so that the experimental result shows that purification were more dependent on the overall salt concentrations and not on individual components. So in order to remove all these contaminants like nickel, cobalt, etc., which is present around the Niger Delta region because of this petroleum industry, we have adopted the reverse osmosis process as a purifying process, and the process is going on throughout the case study. Okay, next is the introduction about our case study is first point is nothing about the Nigeria and also the Niger Delta region, and the water supply problem is there, especially potable water supply. And next coming it is this Niger Delta is completely bounded with the Atlantic Ocean, which is the sea water, which therefore which results in the intrusion of seawater in and around the area. But what about the borehole? So drilling of boreholes is also giving uh, failure of results because of the contamination and intrusion of the seawater, so that the water is more saltable. So some areas are experiencing an increase in salt content of the drilled water also. So this could be attributed to the nature of water aquifers and the rate of exploitation, which results to a reduction in thickness and the effective head of the freshwater waste. So there is a no availability of fresh water in and around that area, so that the government as well as the area in that people in that area has decided to go for some purification process, and they have think of the purification processes like ion exchange process, reverse osmosis, like etc. But finally it gives a hand only through the reverse osmosis process. So here they have taken around 140 groundwater samples in different locations of that area from January 2009 to November 2011, and it was confirmed that several samples did not meet the national drinking water standard, which was recommended by World Health Organization. So they have chosen some of the water purification processes. So how the water is getting polluted, why, what is the reason for the pollution and contamination in that area? So because not only salt water is that the salt water is due to the Atlantic Ocean, which is bounded around the Niger Delta region, but some of the this is due to salt water, and some of the chemicals are contaminated there. So what is the reason, what is the what is the pollution, water pollution? Cause of that water pollution is nothing but presence of the petroleum industry. So the dominant industry in Niger Delta region is the petroleum industry. So this industry which leaves the crude oil outside, which has more quantity of heavy metals like cobalt, nickel, etc., which completely get diluted with the groundwater, so that if the drilled water if the water is drilled means also it is getting more contaminants like heavy metals. So despite assurances of compliance with regulated requirements, both the handling of these fluids and disposals barely meet the regulatory demands requirements. So that the contribution of drilling fluid or the contamination of oil and water sources could be considered remarkable. So this is also one of the reason for the pollution of groundwater in and around that area. So next is water purification. So by seeing all these problems like brackish water, salt water intrusion, and presence of heavy metals, presence of heavy metals like cobalt, cobalt, nickel, etc. The government and the people in and around the Niger Delta region has decided to go for some purification process, and they have decided to take distillation process, electrolysis, and ion exchange process, reverse osmosis. So from all these process, they have tried everything, but only the thing which gives hand and meet the demands is nothing but the reverse osmosis process. So now we can see here, so mostly widely used methods for desalting brackish or distillation, electrodialysis, that is what explained in this point. Electrodialysis, ion exchange, and reverse osmosis. So each of these process has its own advantages and disadvantages, but the distillation, electrolysis, and ion exchange does not give more hands because they faces many challenge to adopt in that area. So that the people and the government has decided to take the a reverse osmosis process. So this is not that much costlier, very cheap, as well as it gives nearly 90 percentage of treated water. So the reverse osmosis system could be designed with recovery rates that will allow easy disposal of the effluents untreated. That is also very good. And more so, the RO system is nothing but reverse osmosis system could be modularized to serve disconnected communities. A comparison of the ion exchange and reverse osmosis methods of purification, which gives close principles of operation, but the reverse osmosis, which is very economical as well as a good choice method. Okay. Next is experimental procedure. So this experimental procedure for undergoing this reverse osmosis process is so this is a photography of the process which has undergone in the reverse osmosis process. So the experiment was carried out on a reverse osmosis pilot plant, and the membrane unit is made of a rectangular chamber with two compartments are there. One compartment is used to store the untreated water, and the other compartment is used to store the treated water. So this unit is piped with influent uniformly distributed on both sides of the membrane surfaces, while purified solutions exit on both sides of the compartment. So some of the characteristics of the membrane is being given. They have selected a based on 0.5 percentage of NaCl, that is which gives 95 percentage of purified water, and maximum working pressure of this is 5 megapascal, and the productivity will be 33 decimeter cube per meter square half. The pH range of water which we get to purify is 3 to 8. So that is somewhat allowed for drinking water, which is recommended by World Health Organizations. So this is a process description which they have adopted. So the process description is so this setup contains two compartments. One is for the recovered, for receiving the unrecovered solution, and the E2 is containing prepared samples, which means treated samples, which we have discussed in the previous slide itself. And it consists of one pump, which is denoted here as H1. A compressor is also there, and accumulator is there. The accumulator which will the accumulator will take or receives all the impurities which is present, which is come out during the process of the purification. And as a membrane cell for reverse osmosis with the two receivers E3 and E4 will be attached for the purified water. And a rotometer is also available, which is indicated as P1 and P2, and valves denoted with DR. Valves for closing and opening is also available in this process. So these are the process setup which is used for purifying the water through reverse osmosis. So with the help of these reverse osmosis process, what is the result we obtained here? So very effective, through the effectiveness of the reverse osmosis separation, it was monitored continuously based on the selectivity and permeability of the membrane, and it was estimated from the amount of water recovered as permeate. So after the water permeated from the reverse osmosis membrane, the water is tested for the results to whether it is obtaining the recommendations of World Health Organization. So next is the membrane selectivity reduced with increase in pressure and concentration. So at low pressure of 1.5 megapascal, the membrane recorded the highest selectivity of 98.8 percentage for COCl2 and 99.3 percentage for nickel sulfate. So this is somewhat a good recovery of water with very low concentration of heavy metals. So flex for nickel compound has a minimal decrease compared with other compounds, which means while comparing with the other heavy metals, nickel is being getting very much reduced in this process. So some of the results are explained with the help of the graphs here. So what is the first A graph represents is selectivity of reverse osmosis membrane at different concentration and pressure of cobalt and chloride. So for cobalt and chloride, the process getting reduced is explained with the help of graphical representation, and the second diagram second graphical representation B is for nickel and sulfate, and the third representation is for productivity of reverse osmosis membrane at different concentrations and pressure of cobalt chloride. So different heavy metals are being represented with the help of graphical representation, and the last one is for nickel and sulfate. So yes, next is selectivity of reverse osmosis membrane for cobalt chloride and nickel sulfate solution. This represents the A. So here you can see that how the concentration is getting reduced here. And next is productivity of reverse osmosis membrane for cobalt and nickel sulfate solution. So it shows a major difference in the decrease in concentration of the heavy metals of COCl2. So next is electrical conductivity of permeate at different pressure of three component solutions. So three component solutions it is being represented here. Productivity of reverse osmosis membrane at different pressure for three component solutions. So productivity is represented here. It is also somewhat reduced, and heavy metal concentration is getting reduced in the productivity of the reverse osmosis membrane here. So finally coming to the conclusion in that, in our case study, cellulose acetate reverse osmosis membrane showed good performance in the removal of cobalt and nickel. So we used here in this case study is also a cellulose acetate, which gives a good performance in the removal of heavy metals like cobalt and nickel. However, increase in pressure reduces the selectivity and increases permeate. This point is actually discussed in the previous two slides. Next, nickel and cobalt are transition elements and behaves alike. Definitely, we know that nickel and cobalt heavy metals are similar in their compound, so that the membrane could have recognized their combination as one component. So they can be easily removed from the purification process. So employing reverse osmosis method of water purification for several brackish water sources contaminated with nickel and cobalt in the Niger Delta region could be successful if the contamination level or within the range has been experimented. So if the presence of nickel and cobalt in the brackish water is somewhat high than the recommended level, definitely the purification process may go very tough. But this contamination level of cobalt and nickel is somewhat low while comparing with the experimented method, so that the nickel and cobalt can be easily removed from the through the process. Next is continuous monitoring of water resources to account for other heavy metal contamination should serve as a basis to guide sample preparation and experiments to access the effectivity of RO system, that is reverse osmosis system, in this region. So even though we can purify the water and remove the impurities like nickel, heavy metals like nickel and cobalt through the reverse osmosis process, it has been recommended that a continuous monitoring should be there to account or to monitor or to find the effectiveness of the heavy metals which is present, so that if we find the effectiveness of the heavy metals, we can prepare the solutions easily for the reverse osmosis process. This is what the conclusion given into for this case study. Thank you.